Okay, the last task for us for this section is something called session fixation. And we got a pretty good example of it inside of our WebGoat application. To navigate to it, make sure that you go to Session Management Flows, and under here you want to click on Session Fixation. And here is our challenge. So let's see what it says. We got stage 1. You're Hacker Joe, and you want to steal the session from Jane. Send a prepared email to the victim which looks like an official email from the bank. A template message is prepared below. You will need to add a session ID, or shortened SID, in the link inside the email. Alter the link to include a session ID. Okay, and we already mentioned or talked briefly about session fixation. It's simple as predetermining a session ID for someone, then that someone clicks on our link with a predetermined session ID, they log into their account, and we can access their account because we do know their session ID. And this is an example of how we can do that. Let's see what we need to do. So here is an email, and in this email we have this sentence right here. Please use the following link to verify your account data. And here we have the link, which is in the href statement. So href equals webgoats/attack, and here are some parameters. Now, the first thing that I noticed is that this webgoat is written incorrectly. We need to type capital W and capital G, the same way that we have it right here. The second thing that is more important is us adding a session ID. And a session ID is simply a link parameter. So we already see some link parameters, and they're divided by this character right here. So all we need to do is to copy that same character and add another parameter at the end. Let's Ctrl V to add this character, and then add our SID parameter by typing SID equals, and here we can pretty much type any session ID that we want. For example, let's go with 555. This is the session ID that I've chosen. So now our altered link looks something like this. We have /webgoat/attack, and then these 3 parameters, which our last one will be the session ID. Now we as a hacker are sending this email to the victim. Let's send the email, and we completed stage 1. Now stage 2 is, now you are the victim Jane who received the email below. Okay, so now we're acting like Jane. If you point on the link with your mouse, you will see that there is an SID included. Click on it to see what happens. Okay, so let's pretend that this is the email that we got, and here's the link that we altered. Let's say that the victim clicks on this link, and it leads it to a page where they can log in. Now here, luckily, we got our username and password for the victim, which the username is Jane and password is Tarzan. So let's type that in right here. These are the correct credentials that, of course, the hacker wouldn't know, but we're acting as both the hacker and the victim in this challenge. And let's log in. And we've completed stage 3. It is time to steal the session now. Use following link to reach Goat Hills Financial. Okay, so in this challenge we're Hacker Joe. And if we go to the link, now we need to log into the session. But we as a hacker don't really know the correct credentials, so we can type anything right here and see what type of link do we get. Just by looking at this link right here, we already see that there is a session ID parameter within the link that says no valid session. Let's give it a try. I'm going to go right here and turn on my intercept. And I'm going to type in test as username and test as password, which is of course incorrect, but all we want to do is to intercept this request. Right now, we want to change this session ID to the number that we sent to the victim, which in our case, or in my case, is 555. We don't need to alter anything else. We can leave the incorrect details, and if we forward this packet, go back, we have successfully logged in as Jane, just by changing the session ID that we sent to the victim over that email. And that is the end of the challenge. As it says, congratulations, you have completed this lesson. Okay, awesome. We have covered some of the basic attacks over broken authentication, And in the next section, we will continue just with different types of the attacks that we call brute force attacks. Nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next lecture.